It's a pleasure to welcome you to another edition of Cyprus Forum Brussels. Our presence here after similar engagements in London, Athens, and DC reflects one simple truth, that Cyprus has a voice and it has something meaningful to contribute. This year's discussions on competitiveness and migration come at a pivotal moment for Europe. And as Cyprus prepares to assume the presidency, we have a unique opportunity not simply to participate in these debates, but to contribute actively and constructively to them. Cyprus may be a small member state, but small states can lead by example. We can show that evidence-based policymaking, openness, and a commitment to European values can originate from anywhere, even from the Mediterranean's smallest corner. Our role, of course, does not end in Brussels. Cyprus is deeply committed to peace and stability in the Eastern Mediterranean. It is willing to work, with no exceptions, to build constructive relationships with every country in the region. This is essential not only for regional trust, but also for Europe's defense priorities, energy security, and for strengthening the Union's ties with our neighborhood. Cyprus can be a reliable partner for the EU, a bridge between Europe and the region, and a contributor to a more stable, secure East Med. I would like to express our sincere thanks to MEP Loucas Fourlas for this continuous cooperation. Of course, Commissioner Kadis and the permanent representation of Cyprus to the EU, their openness, their support, and their willingness to share the hard work that they're doing have been invaluable. And they demonstrate daily that Cyprus is not a passive player, but an active contributor to the Union's policymaking efforts. And this is only the beginning. In February, we hope to return with a special presidency edition, bringing together voices from the business world, the policy think tanks and decision makers across the political spectrum. And today, let us recognize that Cyprus, not only as a member of the Union, but as a country ready to shape, contribute, and engage with clarity and purpose in the first 6 months of 2026. I give the floor now to Mr. Fourlas for his welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Nicolas. I would like to welcome all of you, especially my colleagues, Kyriakides, Nikos, and Michalis. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to Cyprus Forum, Brussels 2025, at the heart of European democracy and decision-making. This is the second year we host this event in Brussels, and I'm proud that it has already become an important institution. This year is especially important because we are discussing the upcoming Cyprus presidency of the Council of the European Union, and we are putting Cyprus at the front line. This is a moment of great pride and responsibility. The presence of Commissioner Kadis, Minister Ioannidis, the Ambassador Rafti here today shows that the European Parliament, the Commission and the Council are united, working together, sharing responsibility and deliver. Migration is one of the main topics on today's agenda and a personal priority for me as a member of the LIBE committee. The Migration Pact should be fully implemented in all member states by 2026, and the presidency will play a key role in this. For me, as a member of the European Parliament, the national interest of Cyprus comes first. I'm here to represent my country as best as I can, and this is why I participate in several committees of the European Parliament, to have a strong voice and defend the interest of Cyprus and all European citizens. We will do our best to support Cyprus during its presidency, to bring forward its priorities, and to make a positive contribution to Europe. Events like this forum help us build bridges, share ideas, and prepare practical actions. I would like to thank Nicolas and his team, Oxygono for Democracy, for their collaboration, our excellent speakers, my colleagues, my assistants Marina and Margarita, and everyone who worked hard to make this forum possible. And of course, all of you who join us today to exchange views. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Loucas. Let us now give the floor to Commissioner Kadis for his opening address.
Thank you. Honourable members of the European Parliament, dear Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's a great pleasure to be back at the Cyprus Forum Brussels and to participate once again in this prestigious event. I would like to thank the non-profit, non-governmental organization, Oxygen for Democracy, for bringing together such an impressive audience of policymakers, diplomats, and experts. And events like this provide an invaluable platform for dialogue, exchange, and inspiration, particularly at a time when Europe is facing so many complex challenges. Just a few weeks ahead of the start of the Cypriot presidency, the timing of this forum could not be better. It allows us to take stock of where we stand in addressing some of the most pressing issues on the European and global agenda, and to reflect on where progress is both needed and achievable during the first 6 months of 2026. For Cyprus, this will be a unique opportunity to contribute to shaping Europe's future and to demonstrate, as it was mentioned earlier, that even a smaller member state can bring a clear vision and added value to the Union's collective effort. In my own portfolio, Fisheries and Oceans, we are directly contributing to 3 of the Commission's main political priorities. First, sustainable blue economy, a key driver of Europe's long-term prosperity and competitiveness. Second, sustainable and competitive fisheries and aquaculture, vital to ensuring food security and to protect our water and nature. And third, sustainable fisheries worldwide, together with stronger international ocean governance, enhancing Europe's role in the global stage, allowing us to leverage our power through partnerships and shared commitments. Allow me to share with you some of the priorities and deliverables we are preparing under my portfolio for the period of this Cypriot presidency. During 2026, we will start implementing several key elements of the European Ocean Pact. The European Ocean Pact is the first ever holistic strategy for the preservation and sustainable management of our ocean. These elements of the Ocean Pact sets a new strategic direction for the protection of our seas. A high-level ocean board will be established in the spring, providing guidance and ensuring that the pact is effectively implemented across all several relevant sectors. And at the same time, we will advance the impact assessment for the forthcoming Ocean Act to be presented at the end of 2026. The Act will strengthen coherence and efficiency in maritime governance across the Union, offering a single point of reference for all economic, environmental, and social objectives related to the ocean. Another major initiative will be the Nautilus Ocean Observation System. Through Nautilus, we aim to structure, coordinate, and govern the fundamental components of Europe's marine knowledge. The initiative responds to an evolving geopolitical landscape and to the strategic need for the European Union to secure the interests, autonomy, and leadership in ocean observation and data management. The Ocean Pact also reaffirmed the importance of fisheries and aquaculture for Europe's food supply and food security. This is why we are now conducting a full evaluation of the Common Fisheries Policy regulation, which will be finalized in the spring next year. The results of the evaluation will be presented in the informal ministerial meeting that will take place in Cyprus next May. The evaluation will provide an evidence-based assessment of whether the policy remains fit for purpose and what lessons can be drawn from its implementation. Its conclusions will also feed into the preparation of a long-term vision for the fisheries sector 2040, through which we will develop in the second half of 2026 our vision for a resilient, competitive and sustainable fisheries and aquaculture sector with a 2040 perspective. The Mediterranean, our shared sea, will naturally be at the center of attention during the Cypriot presidency, since Cyprus is a stability and cooperation force in the wider region. In 2017, through the Medfish Forever Declaration, the Mediterranean states made a historic commitment to sustainable fisheries and aquaculture governance. As we approach the conclusion of the initial 10-year roadmap, the European Commission will host a high-level preparatory conference in May in Cyprus to take stock of progress, identify remaining challenges, and reaffirm our collective commitment to sustainable fisheries in the region. This event will also be a strong symbol of Europe's engagement with its southern neighborhood. We also recognize the enormous potential of coastal and island communities as engines of innovation and sustainable growth, but we are equally aware of the specific challenges they face, from climate change impacts to issues of connectivity, energy, and waste management. To address this, and as announced in the European Ocean Pact, we will present during the Cypriot presidency, together with colleague Executive Vice President Fito, a common strategy for EU islands and coastal communities. This initiative will aim to strengthen resilience, diversify local economies, and ensure that no coastal or island region is left behind in Europe's green and blue transition. And I warmly invite all of you to engage with us in shaping this strategy, including through the upcoming public consultation. Ladies and gentlemen, I am confident that together we can deliver ambitious and meaningful results. So I look forward to working closely with my Cypriot colleagues and partners throughout the upcoming presidency, and to making it a milestone of progress and cooperation for our oceans, our fisheries, and our coastal communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kadis. Your presence here means a lot, and thank you so much for coming. And now moving to Ambassador Christina Rafti, Permanent Representative of Cyprus to the EU, for her keynote speech.
Thank you very much, dear Commissioner, dear Ministers, dear members of the European Parliament, dear Mr. Fourlas, dear Mr. Kyriakides, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be present at the second edition of Cyprus Forum in Brussels, and this time around focusing entirely on the upcoming Cyprus presidency of the Council of the EU. The Cyprus Forum is already a point of reference in Cyprus, bringing together experts, academics, and policymakers, amplifying the connection between knowledge and long-term planning. And with this second event in Brussels and upcoming events during our presidency, as Mr. Kyriakides said, we hope that Cyprus Forum will become an established part of the country's footprint in Brussels. In less than a month and a half, Cyprus assumes the presidency of the Council of the EU. at a point in the institutional cycle with mature and rather full inherited agenda and in a volatile global context. We are fully aware of the challenges. We believe that Cyprus can contribute to Europe's goal to become more competitive, more defense-ready, and in fulfilling its potential as a global actor and a stabilizing force in a radically different world. I will not need to go into details regarding the geopolitical situation, Russia's continued war of aggression against Ukraine, conflict in our southern neighborhoods, define the security situation. In a broader sense, we are experiencing intense geostrategic competition and constant challenges to our multilateralism and the rules-based order. Global challenges such as climate change and technological developments reshape the world as we know it. In this context, Cyprus undertakes the responsibility to push forward the EU's own agenda, building on the excellent work of our trio partners and, of course, under the leadership and the guidance of our leaders. I will start from our commitment to continue prioritizing the EU's support to Ukraine as the country continues fighting against Russia's aggression. For Cyprus, a member state and a country still under occupation, this commitment is self-evident. And this ties directly to enlargement for the Union, and for Cyprus, enlargement is a strategic necessity, and enlargement only reinforces our geopolitical weight. For our partners, the candidate countries, this is a strategic choice as they opt for a path entailing both benefits and responsibilities. This endeavor needs to be based on a strict merit-based process and share values. We are cognizant of the challenges along the way, but we are committed to achieving practical steps forward for all the candidates according to their own progress with a view to safeguarding the credibility of the process. This would also include discussions on how to best prepare the EU to welcome new members based on the upcoming pre-enlargement policy reviews. One of the main priorities of the Cypriot presidency will also be how to advance work on the multi-annual financial framework after 2028. We aim to guide the discussions in a way that would facilitate an agreement by the end of 2026. Our intention is to build on the work done by the Danish presidency, and we will be aiming to produce a mature and comprehensive negotiating box by June 26 to be discussed at the European Council. And of course, we will be taking account all the concerns raised by member states and also establish early contact with the European Parliament. Defense is also an area which we will pay particular attention. We fully share the target of making Europe defense ready by 2030, which also means and entails increasing Europe's strategic autonomy. A lot of work has been done on this in the past year, but for the EU to be able to respond to current and future threats in a holistic manner, more needs to be done. In this regard, we will prioritize the implementation of existing legislation and aim for concrete progress on upcoming proposals such as the Military Mobility Pact and the Defense Industry Transformation Roadmap. That brings me to competitiveness, which of course is an overarching priority of our presidency. Building on the existing momentum, simplification will remain central in our agenda. We will also emphasize work on diversifying trade partnerships, developing the savings and investment union, completing the single market, and reinvigorating European industry. We strongly believe that digitalization and innovation can play a crucial role in strengthening the competitiveness of our economies. And I'm sure you will hear more about this in the dedicated discussion later on. Talking about competitiveness, of course, I cannot but refer to the importance we attach to developing and extending and securing our infrastructure, be it transport, communication, or energy. Migration remains a top concern of our citizens, a top concern for Cyprus. I'm sure you will hear more during your discussions with the Deputy Minister. We will be working on the smooth implementation of the pact. Will enter into force in June 2026, alongside with draft legislation on the external dimension of migration that for Cyprus, but for the Union as well, remains a critical part when we talk about migration. The Cyprus presidency will always also assign special importance to social issues such as affordable housing across Europe, and by promoting this as a horizontal economic and social priority. And of course, we had the commissioner on the Ocean Pact and on the Islands Initiative that we featured in our presidency, and we know and we're happy that the commissioner will be working a lot of this together with us from now and during our presidency. As we come closer to the presidency, the preparations are intensifying. A lot of colleagues that have already had the presidency say that maybe it's equally stressful as the presidency. I can only say that we are very proud and excited to take over the presidency on the 26th January 2026. On this, we look forward to working with you, with all the institutions and the member states. And Mr. Kyriakides, to thank you again for this invitation. These initiatives only highlight and give visibility to our efforts and to the Cypriot presidency. And I hope that we have a chance to have these discussions during our presidency as well. And thank you very much to everybody.
Nicolas, before you have the floor, I would like to welcome also my colleague, Freddy Belleris.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats so we can start, and apologies for this delay.